Welcome back to my channel, guys. Tonight I'm doing something a little different. I had a request to go over how to get this monster, so I'm going to try to break down the easiest, cheapest way to get it using information that I found on the Monster Legends Discord guide server. So the first thing is, if you see my last video, I went over this monster when I first seen its move sheet for the first time, meaning I didn't have any pre-information like I do now. Now I've had a chance to see this monster in action on Armor Gaming's channel, and I've had time to think on it and read over it plenty of times. So some notes to make is, last time when I read it, I didn't think anything of the extra turn move. I kind of thought that was a negative thing to be giving your opponent an extra turn. But now it's come to my knowledge that that's extremely powerful for anticipation monsters, and I seen on Armor Gaming's channel that he was trying to use Hardy, and I think that is definitely not the route to go with this monster. I think the route to go with this monster is to use things that can wear team speed, whereas Hardy needs strength. And one of the best candidates for that is probably Lima, or Lamia, however you pronounce her name. The little lizard dragon lady with anticipation at rank 3. Another good one is like Neasel or Hornet, but everybody's seen Rag. Rag's good. I only have Rag rank 1 and I only have Lamina rank 3, but I still think that's the best shot for me to build a team with this monster. I can't wait to get this monster. It looks like a lot of fun to play with, and I want you guys to be able to get this monster too, and I want you to be able to get it for less than 150 gems, so I'm going to go over that. And I already noted that it had a 0 cooldown possession total blind move, which was a deny move for 0 cooldown. That is so relevant, guys. That means you can cast it every single turn, basically, until you run out of stamina. So, yeah, this monster is definitely worth getting. And another thing that is worth noting is there's more than one way to get his cells. You don't actually have to just do the progressive island, so you can actually spend your compasses that you have left over for extra cells. You can find these chests in the chest shop. You basically only have two options. You can either get Cosmic Era chests or you can get Black Feather chests. I myself will most likely be getting the Black Feathers because I do think I am going to rank this guy up now, since I've seen the potential to be able to build creative teams since speed doesn't matter using anticipation, and there's a chance they might release a newer anticipation monster in the future, so I have to stay tuned and I want to be best prepared for when that happens. Which brings me to how to best get this monster for the cheapest amount of gems. So the first thing to do is to go over this tip here on taking notes. Make a note of the exact time you started the event. This is the time you first logged on after the start of the event, and not the time the event itself started. This time is important and will be based of the timing for your first skip. Basically meaning when you log in is going to determine when you do your first skip. Similarly, make a note of the time you gem a node and progress to the next one. Again, you will need this to calculate the time of your next skip. When the guide says use X gems after Y days, Z hours, it means Y days, Z hours from when you started that node, not from when the node itself started, guys. So basically, you just got to remember that the game is keeping track of your personal log in and out information and your spending information, not everyone's as a global whole. Alright, so the timer for each item type. As soon as you start a node, a full collection of 6 gold, 4 food, and 1 breeder hatch items are available to collect immediately. That means as soon as the event starts, guys, you can go ahead and do those collections. The best thing to do is right before the event starts is log out and log back in, so you're logging into a fresh beginning, and then it'll help make sure that the event does a better job of keeping up with your time, meaning if your time matches the event's time, then it's a lot easier to keep track of. Alright, so gold items then become available every hour and 20 minutes from when you started the node. Meaning, like, if you wait 2 hours and you collect, you're going to get some gold. You're not going to get the full amount, but you will get some. Food items become available every 2 hours from when you started the node. Meaning you can collect like 4 food every 8 hours, but you can also collect 1 food every 2 hours, depending upon how you best do it or how you like to do it. Breed and hatch items become available every 8 hours when you start the node. This is where it gets very, very crucial, because missing time on this, meaning if you start the node and you breed or you hatch an egg and then you wait 9 hours, you lose a complete hour on the 8-hour ability to get that. So, and also remember to be logging in and logging out and back in to make sure that you don't miss out on it. A new item becomes available only after the timer expires, and you will need to perform the load trigger action after this time. If you perform part of an action before the timer expires, load an egg onto the hatchery, then hatch the egg after the timer expires, the action, the hatch in this case, will not count. The entire load trigger action needs to be done after, which what they're basically saying is if you bred an egg 3 hours ago and you put it on the thing and now your thing is able to let you hatch an egg, you can't hatch the one that you bred 3 hours ago. You got to breed a new one and then hatch it after the timer, which is super easy to do. All you got to do is just breed a common. So if you're worried, just keep a hatch slot open so that way you don't fall behind in anything, and then after 8 hours you can just breed a common and hatch it and you'll get your hatch points. Or if you need the breed points, you can just breed one and you'll get the breed points as soon as you put it on the hatchery. And the foods and the golds and all that will basically be easy as long as you just keep logging in and out. If you stay logged in for longer than 8 hours, you might miss some, so be warned on that. Alright, so moving on. This is when to spend your gems, guys. Meaning the cheapest that you can possibly get this monster for if you do everything correct is 122 gems. On the last event, the Krusty event, I got mine for 135 gems. So anywhere around 150 or less is good to me. If you've slacked off or you didn't pay attention, paying 200 gems is not going to kill you, especially for a monster that's playable and opens up the ability to build teams. Alright, so on the 20 cells node, because it's going to be broke down in 20 cells, 30 cells, and 50 cells, you want to do all of your collections, and then after 16 hours from your first collection, you want to pay 32 gems. So you should have about 18 gold collected, 12 food collected at that time. On the 30 cells, you want to do this 1 day and 10 hours and 40 minutes after your very first collect. You should have roughly around 32 gold, 21 food. And then on the last 50 cells, you want to wait till there is like 1 day, 18 hours, and 40 minutes left. I wait till the last minute. I'm literally like the last 5 minutes of the event trying to get it as cheap as I can. It says use 57 gems. I think those timers might actually be from the start of the cell flip, meaning on the first one, you're going to do it 16 hours after your first collect, but then after you flip it, it's going to go to the 30 cells, and then you're going to do it another day and 10 hours later. I think that's what they mean there, because that's the only way that it adds up to 3 days and 21 hours, in my opinion. But that is the guidelines to follow along. No one's going to be perfect as far as I know unless you set alarms and you basically sleep only for exactly 8 hours or less. So hopefully this helps you guys, and then when it comes to if you can't make the 50 cells, just remember all you need is to spend your compasses on these chests, and you can get all the extra cells that you need. I think myself, I'm already at 50 some. They put them in the monster woods. You're getting them from the events. They add up pretty quick. All you need is 50 extra ones, and you can completely save your gems. You can completely save yourself time, and you can still get the black feather guy. I myself will be doing all of the progressive island and then trying to get as many of these as I can to help me with rank 1 with my cosmic stardust. So other than that, if you need any more help on getting this monster or any other guides for it, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to make another video. Thanks to everyone who's been watching my channel. Later.